mid-November. I think it's like mid-November. I'm in the Sound. It's a little bit choppy today, but it's gonna calm down quite a bit, so I'm not really worried. This is the worst it's gonna be. I even waited a little bit, but you can see it's not too bad. It's cold, definitely cold today. It's 39 degrees, I think. Maybe it's getting up to like 44. So, you know, I got the gloves on, dry suit, hat, neoprene booties, and we're trying our best to stay warm. But, you know, I think the blackfish are gonna be around and chewing, so I really want to get out. Going away tomorrow too, so if we don't get weather in late November, then this could be the last trip that I make out. So just really want to try. I picked this area because, you know, I can fish shallow and I can fish deep. I can try 15, 20 foot boulders, and I can try 55, 60. So I think I will start around the 30 mark. I want to try 30, see what that's doing. I'm not gonna anchor until I find blackfish, so I'm just gonna, you know, kind of maneuver around the rock patch with the crab and see if I get a blackfish. If I get a blackfish, then maybe I'll anchor, but I don't really want to waste too much time, you know, having to re-anchor if, you know, just the fish aren't on those pieces, because, you know, out here I've had like mixed success. It's not like hot and heavy all the time, so I have to kind of pick and choose the patches. Alright, so we found some kind of a piece here. It's nice because we're not drifting too fast, but we are drifting. So 37 feet. It's actually a little deeper than I thought it was going to be. Let's try. This is only a 1/2 ounce jig head, so it may take a little time to make it to the bottom. Oh, I'm getting taps immediately though. That's a blackfish. Oh. Let's just throw this little piece down. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? These things are still here. I can't believe the porgies are still here. It's 54-degree water temps. It's pretty chilly. So we still got a little piece. Definitely not afraid to use it. I'm staying on this piece pretty easily without my anchor, so I think I'm gonna just continue to do that. Tiny little blackfish. Alright, so we got them halfway fired up. I'm gonna do one more piece with the shell off. We're just using green crabs. 1/2 ounce jig head. It's so much harder to fish with gloves on, but I need them right now. Maybe when the wind dies down, I can manage without them, but for now, I absolutely need them. Shoot. Yeah, not even making it to the bottom. This feels... it's a sea bass. That's a decent sized sea bass for the Western Sound. Not a keeper, but it's a good size. I still got my bait. And really, this is only possible because we don't have much current. If we had current mixed with this kind of wind and waves, I don't think I'd be able to do this without an anchor. Oh man, they are on it so quickly. This is on. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, dang. Might have a keeper or close to it. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a keeper. That's a keeper. Oh, yeah. Nice. That's awesome. Oh, she choked that jig. She's almost 17. Pretty much 17. Right on the button. I'll keep her. Now 17s are good eating size. And I'll release like big ones, but you know, borderline keepers to me, perfect eating size, and you know, they're not too old of a fish, especially out here where it's just not very easy to get keepers, you know. I'm not gonna be out here much more. Probably only keep 2 fish today. Try to have our next keeper be a male, and then we'll play catch and release. You're allowed 3 a day, but I'm only gonna keep, I have a couple fish frozen in the freezer, vacuum sealed, so I don't really need to stock anymore because I already have a couple meals. So we're just gonna catch what we can cook tonight. Man, wow, that was a sharp tap. That was a sharp tap. Did you see that tap? Big fish potential right there. Yeah, that's a nice one. That is a good one. Oh, dude. Has weight. This thing has weight. Oh, I snagged him. No wonder. It's a nice male though. Let's see if it's a keeper. I might just keep this one if it's a keeper. He's 16. 16 male, so you know what, I'll keep this one. And we'll play catch and release with everything else. Alright, bite's hot. Let's try whole crab. Let's take all those knuckles off and get a good hook in there. Just like that. That's a big piece. Let's see, we want the big one now. There's some decent fish on this piece. Oh my gosh. Look at that. See, it's a big piece though. Those little guys can't. It's mostly small fish though. Try the whole crab again. And they're definitely all woken up. See, even you can tell. I can tell it's a small fish. He's swimming away with it, but he doesn't have the crab fully in his. Like they can't fully grab it. I'm pretty sure I caught the 2 biggest fish on this piece. Those are sharp taps. Oh. That's decent fish. Oh, that's a big blackfish, actually. Oh, dang. Wow. So there was one more big one on there. This guy's 17. 17. Nice one. Nice 17-inch keeper. Nice fish. Oh. Alright, so we'll just keep working this a tiny bit more, I guess. Throw the underwater camera down. Caught my limit on this one little piece. That is crazy. We've only been fishing for 38 minutes and we caught our limit in the Western Sound. That is a record. For me, personally, that is a record. Alright guys, so welcome back to some underwater footage. I got some really good footage on this video. I'm pretty excited to edit it and review the footage. It was just a very clear day, and there were just so many blackfish. You're not going to see a bunch of big blackfish, but there's a lot of small ones, and I think it's just highly educational. So I'm going to share a bit. I have so much footage that I probably won't post all of it. I might even make a video of just only the underwater footage, so let me know if you're interested in me posting something like that. So the first spot that I fished, and I got all those keepers on, it's a very small patch of rocks, and this is what you're seeing right now, but it was just so stacked with a lot of fish. Even these smaller ones can pick up the crab and move with it, as you saw right there. So, and as a reminder, I didn't anchor at both the first and second spots, so you're gonna see me drifting a little bit here and there, and that's just because I'm not anchored. I did stay on the boulders relatively good, but you'll see I moved from the last spot, and there were no blackfish right there when I just dropped the crab. But watch that, it doesn't take long. You see them coming in. Once they start seeing that crab, a few peck at it, it's on. So the small blackfish do attract those bigger ones, as you're seeing right here. On this drop, I did get a little bit closer to some of the bigger boulders that are tightly packed, and I think that's key. These fish really like tightly packed boulders, as I've said in the past. And even though these are great places of where the blackfish like to hide, if your bait does go down there, there's a high likelihood that you're going to get snagged. And I did here. It's 11 o'clock. This is like prime slack tide. The wind really hasn't calmed down as much as I thought it would. It's pretty much the same. We're in pretty much the same depth, but we're just in a different rock patch. Just crazy how many bites I was getting at that last spot though. I think it was all mostly small fish towards the end there because those big presentations they were just not able to take. Got some good bites right here. That's a fish. Start with a small one. Let's hopefully work our way up. This little spot may not have bigger fish on it. This spot may have been picked off. The shell-on crabs even just take longer to get to the bottom. Look at that. Oh, harsh. Oh, dang, dude. That's why you shouldn't scope too much. Scoping a little too hard. Alright. It's a better one. These fish just fight so good. Oh, yeah. Oh. This is going to be close to a keeper. Oh, yeah. That might be a keeper. Oh, dude. Yeah, it's a keeper. I'm gonna call it 16 on the dot. Yep, I call it 16 on the dot. It's maybe a tiny bit short. Nice male. I'm just thankful too I didn't have to go deeper. It's definitely harder to hold the bottom deeper. Like if I went deeper I probably would have to anchor. Gonna have to change my jig probably in the next 30 minutes. It's 11:15 right now, so the current is just starting to ramp back up. Definitely a lot of fish down there. My guess is it's very similar to the last patch. Oh, oh, that was a good fish. Oh, it broke me off completely. What the heck? It's weird. Could have been a bluefish. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't been checking my knot. Maybe it got frayed. Alright, let's see what the underwater looks like here. Alright, the next patch of boulders I think was a little bit bigger. The boulders were a little bigger. You saw some sea bass there at the top. But there was definitely more fish here. But because it is a larger patch, I think sometimes, you know, it can take the fish a couple minutes or something to find the bait. Because you'll see here, there's only one or two fish right there pecking at the crab. But you give it a, couple seconds, and these guys start attracting other fish, and more fish will come, and then you'll see the bigger one of the bunch kind of muscle his way through and grab the crab. And now that he's created that huge silk cloud, it's kind of hard to see, and I don't think the fish can even see the bait. But there he finally gets it again and runs away with it. So now that the fish are fired up, I do drop this like right back where it was, and just look how many blackfish there are here. This is just incredible. I mean, these things are really almost piranha-like. They just swarm in massive numbers. So here you can see I'm dropping down on the side of a very big boulder, and yeah, I'm not in like the middle of the patch. I'm on the edges here, and you'll see there's not as many fish to start, but just watch as I continue to drift over the larger portion of the patch of boulders, just how many fish are down there. And as you can see, this crab, I didn't crack the shell. All I did was cut the legs off on one side and hook it through the leg sockets and leave the legs on and everything. And you'll see it just takes these fish so much longer to hit this crab and get off. Yeah, so many of them. And right here, I'm not sure what fish that is right there. I don't know. But I do think there's a bluefish maybe chasing them, because you'll see some bluefish in and out of the frame. Let me know if you recognize that bait fish, though. I really don't know what it was. Now, watching these small fish try to get the crab, it's just very interesting to me too, how they're always trying to get the legs. Like, they're always just trying to hit the meat out, not grab the actual leg tip. And if you noticed, I have a jig crab sometimes in the frame, but it's on a red jig, and you'll see I keep dropping it down there. The fish just go absolutely crazy for the jig. And you'll see, I think part of the reason is too, it's hard for these fish to have leverage on the rig crab. You know, when the crab's just kind of floating there and they go to bite it, the crab kind of just like moves away from their mouth. Whereas the jig crab, when it's on the ground like that, they can kind of just smush their face into the ground and grab the crab. I think it just, having the ground up against the crab gives them a surface to kind of give them leverage. Whereas here, as it's floating there, it just kind of bounces around. I guess it's that, and the fact that they're smaller fish. I'm sure a big fish could just easily take that whole crab, no problem. If you notice too, just how much silt is stirred up after, a couple fish have been really hitting on the crab, especially the jig crab. But yeah, you could imagine, a couple people fishing with jigs, and really will stir up the bottom quite a bit. Alright, so I'm showing this part because of just how amazing some of these female togs colors are. I mean, look at that. There's almost like yellow in the stripes to kind of help match the background of the rocks. Very cool. Just very cool looking. Look up and to the left, you'll see a bluefish passing by. Yeah, you'll see a couple more bluefish. And I think it's also what startles these fish here and there. All of a sudden, you'll see the fish kind of go away. Yep. And then right there to the right was a bluefish that passed through the frame. Definitely saw a couple porgies. There weren't too many right over top of the rocks. But you'll see here coming up too, as I pull this crab up, another bluefish on the bottom right there. And then now as we drop back down, another bluefish on the bottom right there. And as we drop lower, you'll see, I don't know if it's the same one, but you'll see another bluefish in the frame again, to the left, right there. So, yeah, I have no idea. Maybe it's just the same one we keep seeing, but maybe there's a couple of them circling this area. I just want you to pay attention to how this porgy bites the crab. You'll see how they just kind of chew and chew and chew while standing still. That's what you feel is that like really tap 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 tap, that really fast, rapid, like machine gun tapping. It's usually what a porgy does right there. So blackfish, they kind of swing their head when they bite a lot more, so you'll feel that like sharp tug or sharp tap. So that's why I feel you can tell the difference of what is what. You know, the blackfish just turn their head much sharper. And yeah, you'll see that jig is still on the bottom. You can't even see it anymore because of all the silt that's stirred up. But that bright red-orange color is down there still. And you'll see me picking it up again right there to the left. And all the fish chasing after it again. It's just incredible how attracted they are to the jig. It definitely seems that the porgies kind of move higher in the water column. So yeah, you're seeing all those. Those are porgies. And all the blackfish are kind of staying closer to the rocks. Alright, to the bottom right, you'll see the jig crab, and there's a blackfish that's about to take it. You'll see I actually hooked this one right there. He's got it in his mouth, he's swimming away, and boom, there's the hook set. Alright, so I came across another, I call these like side patches. So let's see if we can get a bite or two here without anchoring. 30 feet. Yeah, immediately. I just got hit immediately. Sea bass? Sea bass. That's a nice sea bass. Oh, that might be a keeper sea bass. Oh, no. He's got like 15. Straighten out, straighten out. Close. 16. That's a nice size sea bass though for this area. Wow. Very nice size. I had a feeling that might have been a sea bass because, you know, I didn't really feel the bottom and nothing else happened after. These side patches are not very lively in the summer. You know, I fish this area a lot. At least I used to fish this area When I first started kayaking, this was where I fished almost all the time. I always wondered why there weren't more fish on these side boulders. I guess it's just a time of year kind of thing. I'm so tempted to anchor. Oh, it was a subtle pickup. Oh, that's a nice one. Probably 15.5 incher maybe. I might anchor here. Oh, they are so much fun. Oh. Let's anchor up. I feel no need to go like too much deeper, so why not just try this, you know? Alright, so I anchored and the wind kind of pushed me off of the main piece. You know, I'm fishing very tiny patches of boulders here, and the wind pushed me off and I wasn't getting bites, or I wasn't getting good bites. And this is what it was. I put the underwater down and it's just porgies. You really have to be on the spot. It's just so important, at least to start. You know, maybe after a while the blackfish will come off the piece and go here, but you really need to be in the rocks. Alright, should be better. Let's try this one. We need something pretty heavy. This is probably a 1 1/4 or 1 1/2. That water doesn't feel that cold, honestly. It's just like when your hands get wet and the wind is here, that's when you really start to feel it. Oh yeah, look at those taps. Oh yeah. Oh, got him. That feels good. That feels like a keeper, maybe. Yeah. Close to it. He may not be a keeper. Look at those teeth. Once we got more over this piece, it was just one after another. Watch how fast this is. I'm gonna catch one more and then I'm gonna do underwater for a little bit. Just watch how crazy fast this is. Oh, dude, it's like before he gets to the bottom. They're on it. Small females, though, as expected. Alright, so this was the last spot. It's roughly 30 feet, and at this point the tide was picking up a bit. And you'll see, I think it actually does affect the tog biting. You'll see here, look at them just looking at the bait a little bit more cautiously now. Yeah, you know, that quick grab and run. That's a classic blackfish take right there. But yeah, they're definitely a little more wary at first, I think, now when the current's moving. Alright, so yeah, there's the jig. It's on the white jig head, and that's about an ounce, ounce and a half. It's pretty heavy, and you'll see every time I pick it up, you know, the current takes it pretty far. That's a pretty big blackfish right there that just took it. That's probably a keeper size or a borderline. But yeah, besides that guy, there's not too many big fish. You see him there swimming away with it. And there goes the jig again. Yeah, as soon as I can get it in between these two big rocks, they just are going at it. Yeah, just pretty hard to see the jig, but it's definitely down there, and you'll see I've hooked a fish actually. He's right there, struggling with the jig in his mouth. But yeah, it's pretty amazing just how silted up the bottom gets. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's also why sometimes it's good to move it a little bit to kind of, you know, attract them, because it might get lost down there. And regardless of the color, it may just be hard to see with all that silt down there. Yeah, at the top right, you're seeing a bunch of blackfish going after the jig crab. And if you look at the bottom right, you'll see a pretty big oyster toadfish come out right there. And he's interested. There's a lot of fish down there. A lot of fish are interested in that jig crab. There's even like a sea bass kind of just sitting there, not doing much. I usually don't like to scope this hard, but I know I'm scoping into the rock, so it's working. Oh! Oh! I don't think there's any keepers, though. This is like the prime time to be fishing for blackfish, in my opinion. Alright, so headed back in. That was a great day, that really was. It was really nice to get the keepers in the beginning. It's funny because you start out thinking like, oh, it's just gonna be like so awesome like this the whole time, but no, it wasn't. I definitely struggled to find keepers throughout the day. Briefly looked at the underwater, saw a lot of blackfish, so yeah, I think they're definitely pretty stacked on these little patches out here. 30 feet. They haven't moved deeper yet, not yet. So that's really nice. It's really nice to see good numbers of them out here. And thankfully take home too. This really is like my favorite time to fish on the kayak. It's a little cold, but if you can fight through that cold, it's just so peaceful. It's so quiet, and the blackfish bite really does seem to pick up. As soon as like that water clears, you get a little bit of a drop in water temp, it gets really clear, and they just like stack up on these pieces. It's just so crazy. I'm telling you, those exact pieces that I fish in the summer are dead. It's just cool. I don't know, these fish are very Very interesting fish. Their migrations and their movements are very mysterious. Now, hopefully I can get back out in late November. I'll definitely still try late November if the weather permits, but if I can't get out and this is it, completely happy with that. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one. As always, thanks for watching.